Ich lebe mein Leben in wachsenden Ringen, die sich über die Dinge ziehen. Ich werde den letzten vielleicht nicht vollbringen, aber versuchen will ich ihn. Ich kreise um Gott, um den uralten Turm, und ich kreise Jahrhunderttausende lang. Und ich weiß noch nicht, bin ich ein Falke, ein Sturm oder ein großer Gesang.
I'm Ross Freeman Levin. I'm a filmmaker and storyteller. I've engaged with art my entire life because my parents are visual artists. I often ask artists, what inspires you? When I met Patrick, his answer was, come to my studio and see.
My name is Patrick Gracewood. I'm a narrative artist. I tell stories that ask questions. I've been carving wood for over 40 years. I see it as a collaboration with a sentient material. I have things I want to say, questions to ask, but I also want the wood to speak freely. So, together we are exploring the nature of wood. We're in need of new stories and new ways of telling stories. I've had to figure out a new way to make these sculptures. In the process, I've discovered a better way to tell stories and incidentally created a divination machine. I wasn't expecting that. It was unsettling when what felt like assignments started coming in. These difficult ideas about ancestors, death, refugees, the climate, demanding ideas that felt very different from my own concerns. It felt like landing a jetliner in my studio, repeatedly. I kept asking, where are these ideas coming from? I had started working with construction debris, dug for scrap. It's free, destined for the dump if I don't get to it first. Because the lengths are short, I use the end grain and piece it together like a mosaic. The usual way of carving is starting with a log or block and working from the outside in. I start with the heart of the tree and work outwards. That's a very different approach. A friend had recommended Marie-Louise von Franz's book on divination and synchronicity, The Psychology of Meaningful Chance. It's dense. She explains traditional divination methods of coin toss, yarrow straws, tea leaves, coffee grounds, cracks in the mud. All these create random patterns. Contemplation of these random patterns throws the rational mind into neutral just long enough for the subconscious mind to emerge and speak. When I read that, I started laughing. I realized I had been looking at thousands of concentric rings and cracks in the wood, each one unique, each expressing the life of all those trees, the time and life of all those years. I'd been staring into the hearts, the origin of so many trees, mind in neutral, a contemplation of randomness. That opened the door to the big ideas. Those big ideas are still landing. My little studio is like a psychic international airport. Mind you, then I work like hell to measure up to those big ideas. There's lots of drawing, thinking, analyzing to get it just right. The assignment doesn't create itself. It's a lot of work to carve hundreds of blocks of wood into a 32 square foot carving. But here's the fun part. I've done all the work to create the piece, but each viewer, if they allow themselves, is confronted with the same hypnotic concentric rings, thousands of them, the same random cracks and patterns that invite their subconscious to speak to them. Regardless of the story, the art is beautiful. There's a sense of humor. It's fun to look at. Our eyes automatically search for regularity, for order, for pattern. At the same time, they search for variance and differences. I use each bit of wood like a pixel with its own set of information. You can read each sculpture on 5 levels. There's the regular commercial dimensions of lumber. There's the random end grain patterns. There's the splits and cracks, both ordered and random. There's what is carved, and then what is painted. Each one of those levels functions on its own, but also combines with each other level, making your eyes and your brain work to understand what and how they are perceiving.
I live my life in widening circles that reach out across the world. I may not complete this last one, but I give myself to it. I circle around God, around the primordial tower. I've been circling for thousands of years, and I still don't know. Am I a falcon, a storm, or a great song?
I didn't get my glasses till I was in high school. No one knew I was legally blind. They just thought I was stupid. So just to be able to see the world dimensionally, I remember just being dazzled by seeing the leaves on trees and just walking around a tree and watching the whole thing shift in perspective. That living in a dimensional world has never left me. I love that. And I specialize in bas-relief work, which is the half-life between something very flat and something fully dimensional. And in that tiny space, you can create tremendous depth.
When I asked Patrick who I should talk to for insight on him and his art, he introduced me to Robin Smith.
I was fortunate to meet Patrick in school at Long Beach State University in the early 70s. I remember a tall man. He was always laughing and smiling. From the first piece that I've ever saw of Patrick's work, it was filled with science, history, innuendo, double entendre. There was always something about it that was funny. I don't think that he can stand to be serious about everything. Patrick's like Michelangelo. He can bring something up off of a page and you can touch it. He is so skilled. You know, it's funny because he knows it, but he doesn't know it. People who have innate raw talent, it's just the way they are. They don't get they're on another planet. And Patrick's on another planet, has always been another planet.
So I compose from my drawings to using the actual tree to draw with. I'm drawing with the annular growth rings of the tree. Then I will torch it, which feels really fun because after battling this wood, then I get to set it on fire. That's a hoot. It's Doug fir. It's a crappy wood. It's impossible to get detail. It fights me every step of the way. I hate it, but nothing else gives me the way this wood looks. All of this work really explores the nature of wood. What is it? What does it want to do by itself? And then I'm asking it to come along into my ideas, so I use it. If I do my part, it becomes whatever I ask of it. It's just magic. It can be feathers, it can be ferns. It turns into whatever I ask it, including laugh lines. I feel like I'm just getting started.
We would do anything for art. Art was about your place in the universe. It had to be more timely with some inner clock that you have. I think that that's the beauty about experimenting, which is what art is. You know, it's an experiment. That was a focus for us, that life experiment that we were in it up to over our heads. And it was going to stay that way.